This is such a good question, and I'm glad that you asked it. There's not an easy answer, unfortunately. Like, there's not a quick fix. But when I think about what's going on and how we can actually stop it, I think about two things. I think about the power of states, and I think about state constitutions. I spent the first decade of my career working in Washington state politics and government. I did 5 sessions down in Olympia, Washington, working at the legislature. And even though the majority of people focus a lot of their attention when they think about politics on Congress and on the president, your state legislature, your state governor, and your state constitution has the power to either stop the agenda of the federal government or completely back it. Republicans have spent, in tandem with what they've been doing in Congress, they've spent the last 20 plus years um, taking over state legislatures, state governors' mansions, and we have to, next year in 2026 and going forward, uh, completely oust them. That truly is, I think, like the only shot at this point that we have left is through state power. The irony of me as a somebody that has worked in democratic politics my entire life saying states' rights, but states' rights, state legislatures are really where Republicans kind of like beta test what is going to happen on the national level. The book bans started happening in state legislatures. The anti-trans bills happened in state legislatures. Voter suppression happened in state legislatures. That's the testing ground. And we need to stop them from having that ability to do that anymore. Also, we saw this in the first Trump administration, and we're already seeing it right in California with the Newsom Trump showdown. Governors are either the last line of defense or really the final nail in the coffin when it comes to our democracy. Republican governors aren't just signing bad bills. Um, they've done things in the past like refuse federal funding. There were so many states in the South after the Affordable Care Act passed that took federal funding for implementation for Medicare and Medicaid off the table simply because they did not want to enact the ACA. Now it's going to be really important for us as taxpayers to call our governor's offices, to call our state legislatures, to ask what our state's rainy day funds, what does that look like? How are you guys going to supplement all of the federal funding that is being taken away from us? Have you been preparing for that? And stay on their ass about it. I think that a lot of elected officials are very used to hearing about political pressure on the national level, but we can really make change on the state level if we apply that same kind of pressure. Not only if we apply that same kind of pressure, but if we run for office too. Being a member of your state senate is important. And frankly, I think you can get more done for communities in state legislatures than you can in Congress. I would much rather be a state senator than a US senator at this point because I know that I would actually be able to get stuff done in a state senate. So this is a little bit long winded, but state legislatures, governor's mansions, constitutional amendments. I haven't even talked about constitutional amendments yet, but that's the other line of defense too. There's a reason why uh, in places like Ohio that are completely controlled by Republicans, that voters in Ohio have enshrined protections for things like abortion into the Constitution through constitutional amendments. There are processes and procedures still left for us to make our voices heard. We got to do it.